guys, it's Proud Cat Lover, and I'm going to show you how I catch these crickets for feeding night, because tonight is feeding night. I've got all the dishes here. I've got Blaze's, wait, this is Ember's, because Blaze pooped on his at one point. This is Blaze's feeding dish, Ember's feeding dish. This is what I put the cricket in for the green anole, because she just eats normally 2 crickets. And then this is the container that I put the crickets in for Eclipse. So I'll show you what I do to get their food ready. So enjoy. Okay guys, so next I'm going to take the hind legs off of the crickets that are going to be for the crested geckos. And the hind legs just are, they'll disable the cricket to where it can't jump. It can still walk around, but it won't be able to jump. That way it'll stay in these feeding cups, which are these 2 here, and they won't crawl out so my crested geckos can get them. So I'll do that next, and then I'll finish catching the crickets for the other 2 reptiles, the green anole and... Okay, so I'll show you... catch a cricket here. I'll show you how I take the hind legs off without actually hurting the cricket. So you'll hold the cricket, and I don't know if my phone's actually going to focus. I don't think it is going to, so I have to hold it right here. You'll just take their hind legs while holding their chest like this with the tweezers, which I have insect tweezers, so these are dull-tipped, and they won't poke my reptile when I feed them if they accidentally jump for it. But you'll hold them like this against their prothorax and their head, and you'll just take the leg, and they don't feel, because there's actually there's nerves, but it's not in the leg itself, so you can just pull the leg off, and the cricket will be just fine. Because they can actually lose their legs in the wild, and after you're done, just take it over here, drop it in there, and I still have a lot to go, but that's how I do that. So now we'll get the rest caught, and the rest done like that. And then I'll show you guys feeding. There you go. Okay guys, so I'm going to put Blaze's food in first. Here he is hanging out over here. Let's see, here's his dish. He'll probably go for them right away just because they're moving around. Oh, maybe. We'll see. Stick his in there. Then we'll get Ember, and she's up here. She already knows what's coming. She's like, I know what you have, Mommy. Just give it to me right now. Okay, I have to be a little careful with her because even though she doesn't mean to, she sometimes bites me because I made the mistake of feeding her in the tank. Okay, now watch her this. She's like super speed with this reaction time she has to seeing these crickets. Maybe. She has to see them move first. And they're just kind of standing there. I think both of them are the type they like eating when the light is off in their tank. But yeah, so that's the first step. Now she's looking at me like, oh, now she sees them. Anytime now she's going to dive for him. It's always really funny watching her because she really looks at him. She plans her attack and then she just launches herself at them. It's hilarious. Like I said, it's pretty funny. So that's her. He's a little bit more timid of a hunter. So yeah. Okay, now we'll feed my leopard. Okay, so real quick I was going to say I'm going to be feeding some mealworms with my crickets. I'm going to be feeding her 7 crickets, and then I'm going to be feeding mainly, I'll probably do like 7 mealworms and 7 crickets. Mealworms I would never suggest feeding as a primary diet, because they're not very high in protein, even though I feed them stuff. Additionally, I add stuff to their oats that has more protein in it. But mainly I just give them, you know, the oats and a carrot. And so they're not full of protein like the crickets are, where they're eating on chicken food and cat food and fish flakes mixed in with calcium powder. So, I mean, they're really getting gut loaded because I really want my reptiles to eat the best that I can provide. So, mealworms is a little different because they're grub and they're a little bit different. So these actually have to be able to live in the stuff that I have mixed in with their oats. But you can see here some of them are getting pretty big. Look how big this one, whoop. Look how big this one is, and then I'm going to throw it. Okay. So, I mean, that one is pretty close to adult, pretty close to pupating stage. I want to get them fed while they're big, because I don't want to be breeding them anymore. I just got stuck with them because I had beetles, and they started having babies. So I'm going to get 7 of those, and then we're going to feed crickets, and then we're going to feed mealworms. Okay guys, so I had to give her a mealworm to draw her out because she's in her little cave right there. So let's see if I can get her. Whoops! Hold on. Okay. Yum 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 yum. Those are pretty good. I decided I was going to feed the mealworms first, because the crickets are a little bit more of a pain. I like to kind of make her hunt them sometimes. Oh. Okay. And if the camera moves around, it's because I'm leaning over to grab a mealworm. Hey, look. It's climbing up the wall. You better go after it. I'll feed the rest of the mealworms and I'll show a little. Oops! Dropped the cricket. Leave it to me to do that. Okay. Looky. Yeah, she likes crickets a lot better, which I would too, because mealworms probably don't even taste that good. Okay. Yeah, she really likes her crickets, and she really likes eating in general. She'll come running out if you are doing anything near the tank, and she'll be like, okay, do you have food for me? Oops, come here, cricket. There we go. I'll video her through the glass so I can kind of get some more crickets. Have the dish right here. Okay, here we go. See if I can get her to stay over here so you guys can see a little bit better. She's such a cutie. Oh, see if she needs to digest. Sometimes she has to digest it a little bit before she eats. Oh, okay, so I caught it. I got some food, some soil, some of the eco earth in the water bowl in the process. So I'm going to have to get her some more water after I'm done feeding her some crickets. Okay, there we go. Okay. There she go. I think she's done. She normally acts it sounds funny. Yeah, and there she goes. They'll bend their neck a little bit to kind of push it into their stomach. She'll kind of act a little tired of eating after she's kind of full. Hey there, baby. How are you doing? She's like, do I have to put up with you touching me? No, I do not. I'm leaving. I'm sorry I got your water dirty. Oh, looks like it comes up pretty easy. Yeah, so that's feeding my leopard gecko. So now there we go. Now I will show you guys what all I get to have fun doing when I get to feed my green anole. And let's just say she hasn't learned yet how to catch crickets on her own, because she just wants to die apparently. So I have to make her eat. Like, I don't make her swallow it or anything. She does the chewing and everything, but I have to put it in her mouth. So we'll go to that. So I can probably not stress this enough, that a green anole is not a beginner lizard. I know what they tell you, but they are not. I mean, watch how quick she is. She does not want to be held. And they say to not grab their tails, but she's the type that if I hold onto her tail gently, whoop, whoop, and you can see here, oh, where'd she go? They are not pets for young kids. I mean, I have to constantly make her eat, because she's the type that if I put the food in there, she wouldn't eat it and she'd just starve to death and die. That's how stupid she is. green anoles are just annoying. They're stupid. Maybe if she was an adult, she would be a little bit easier to handle, but she is teeny tiny right now, as you can see. I mean, if I can get her to start eating on her own, she would be so much better, and I could keep from bugging her 1,000 times, having to feed her. And she gets fed the same days as the other reptiles. Blossom, go away. He likes to try to attack her, because she moves really fast. Get off the bed. So today I'm going to be feeding her a cricket, and I also found a newly shed mealworm, and they say, I was reading this book, that you can feed them newly shed mealworms because they don't have the exoskeleton hardened yet, so it's okay for them to eat, because the exoskeleton makes it hard for green anoles to digest, and so they might have a harder time going to the bathroom. And it could cause blockage in them if they were to be on a mealworm diet. And it's not like they're very nutritious in the first place. And I think once I have her out, she kind of gets laid back a little bit. But I'll put the camera on and you guys can watch how much fun I get to have feeding this little pain in the butt. Okay, so I'll show you what I have to do. And this doesn't hurt her in any way. She just likes to squirm a bunch because she doesn't like being held. But if you just kind of grab them around the neck like you would a snake, real gentle. You can see she's playing dead right now because she doesn't want me to hurt her, which obviously I'm not going to. And I just caress her mouth until she opens it like she just did. Come here. Just caress her till her mouth will open, and then I stick the prey item in there. Come here, you stupid mealworm. Mealworm's having a big fit like usual. Normally, once I get it in her mouth, she will eat it. And these mealworms I did raise myself. So all these mealworms are home raised, I suppose you could say. As you can see, she shows no interest in eating at all. It's in her mouth. She's not doing anything. I don't know what the camera is doing. It's just not very clear right now. Hey, eat the mealworm. Sometimes I have to get her to open her mouth, or I just pull the worm out. Trying to play tug of war with her so that she'll maybe be encouraged to eat it, and as you can see, she let it go. So we'll try this again, and this can go on for a while. I have to get it in her mouth. There we go. Now she'll eat it. As you can kind of see, she just ate the entire thing. So once I get it in her mouth, she's fine. But before then, she just doesn't want to eat anything. And I won't torture you and make you watch her eat a cricket, because she's going to eat that cricket. That is the last thing I'm going to do. She's going to eat that cricket. Because you've probably seen how tiny she is. Teeny. She needs to gain some weight, the poor thing. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching my little feeding video. Green and Old cooperated. Didn't try running all over the place. There she goes, jumping on the camera. Come here. Okay, there we go. So, yep. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching my little video. And real quick, a little tip. Do your research. Read books. I wouldn't suggest going online unless it's an actual website that you can trust the information from. Because research before getting a pet so that you know what you're getting into. Because when I got my green anole, I had got a book and I'd read about green anoles, and I read the entire thing almost twice. And I was not expecting when I got my green anole that she would be as stubborn of an eater as she is. And, oh, she just jumped on the phone. And I kind of regret getting her, but I have to take care of her because she's my pet. So I just have to go to the extra effort and the extra time I have to put into taking care of her. She's just a little bit more high maintenance. As were my leopard gecko, you saw. I just put the food by her, she'll eat it. No big deal. I just keep her moist-tied. I spray it down once or twice every 2 days to keep it moist so when she goes to shed. Crested geckos spray their tanks, 2 to 3 times a day depending on how dry it is. And so, I mean, all of their care is relatively simple because they can eat on their own. And all I have to do is clean their tanks and everything. And with the green anole, everything's fine except for the fact that she won't eat on her own. Like, she won't hunt the prey. I don't know if when she was at the pet store that I got her from, if the others bullied her so she didn't want to eat food, because the others were bigger than her, and I took the runt because I was like, no one's going to take this, and she's probably just going to end up dying, and so maybe I can get her back to good health. Well, once I got her back to good health, she lost her tail tip. It's kind of growing back, as you can see, which is pretty amazing. But now I'm just trying to get her to eat, and she kind of looks like she has a tumor on her stomach here, on this side, which you can't see because the camera is blurry. But she has this bump that sticks out of her side over here, and it looks a lot like a tumor. So I don't know how long she's going to be with me, but until she dies, I'm going to take care of her to the best of my ability. So just put an extra time and effort into her, even though I don't really want her, just because I can't hold her unless I'm holding onto her tail like I am right now, just the tip of her tail gently pushing down so that she cannot jump away. Because there was one day that she went missing for like 5 days, and I thought she was dead, and I ended up finding her. So, and now she's falling asleep. So, yeah, like I said, have a good day, and thanks for watching.